With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Look who I have with me today. It's actress Melora Hardin. So welcome, Melora.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk with you. We're a similar age. So I've been a fan of yours like my entire life. You've been doing this for a little while now.
Yeah, just a little while.
I'll tell you, the first time I remember it because I know the first time I saw you on camera, my mother used to let me stay up and watch Quincy. And you were on a couple of those.
I was, yes. I think I did. The first one I did, I was like 12 or 11 or something. And then I did one when I was about 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that was when I was 11. It was intense.
Yes, it was.
It was really intense, that character was.
For a show in the 70s, it was pretty intense for primetime TV.
It sure was. I mean, I played a kid who was sold into child prostitution, a runaway who had been like taken into child prostitution, had been like was groomed by the girl and the guy. Like, you see it. My God, now that I look back on that, that was intense.
That was very mature themes for that time.
Yeah, it really, really was. I remember the director was so sensitive, and he was like, we were doing the scene where I'm supposed to be being filmed.
Yeah.
And he, and it's a weird scene, and I'm sitting there and and I'm on the bed, and then the guy playing the character who's behind the camera is saying like, just smile. And the director came over to me, he goes, so I had like my zip up pajamas, like my pink onesie pajamas that I had all the way up to here. And he came over and he said, do you think would you feel comfortable if we just moved it a little bit off your shoulders? And I said, no. And he said, okay, we won't do it then. It was so nice of him. Like, he was just like, he just wanted to just push it down a little bit, like it was like I had it like zip to here.
Well, I mean, that was pretty early, right? That was fairly early in your career.
Yeah, well, I started when I was 6 years old. I think this was when I was like 12. But I think I just was a very sensitive child. I'm and as an actor, you get very sensitive. And so you can really feel, and when you're playing a character, what's going on, so.
Well, yeah. And a lot of actors have trouble with that. If they get too far into the character, it's hard to get back out of it.
Right.
Yeah. So I hear. I would not know firsthand.
Not your thing, huh?
Yeah. Well, even if I thought it was my thing, someone would quickly let me know it.
That's good. It's good to have people around you that tell you the truth.
You have to have those. You got to have your reality checkers.
Very important. Very important. Yes.
We've definitely been through a few of those with this podcast, and they've been helpful.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. If you can take the criticism, it can be helpful.
Yes. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a new movie coming out.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So it's Clock, and I think it comes out on the 28th. Does that sound right?
Yep. On April 28th on Hulu.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So talk a little bit about that. What's the movie about? What's your role in it?
Yes, it's a movie about a young woman named Ella, who played by Diana Agron, who has sort of a perfect life. She has a great job that she loves. She's sort of, moving up in her career. She has a great husband that she loves, great sex life, great friends. And she just doesn't want to have children. And she's facing all of this pressure from friends, family, society to have kids. And so it's recommended to her that maybe she thinks something is wrong with her, that because she isn't feeling her biological clock. So there's a suggestion that maybe she should try to fix that not wanting to kind of makes her something that needs to be fixed.
And does she think it needs to be fixed?
Yeah, well, That's not really. I mean, that's part of
Mhm.
the thing is she doesn't really stick with her instincts. But I play a doctor who's running a very cool and modern trial where I claim to be able to fix your biological clock.
Okay.
And I think that I manage that, but quite a few other things go wrong. So,
Could you imagine if they could actually do that?
yeah, I know. I know. And we're already so overpopulated. Like I'm always like when someone says to me like, "Yeah, I just don't want to have children." I'm like, "Great."
Yeah.
Like
Good for you.
it's great when people know they don't want to have children. I'm like the opposite, like I've wanted to have kids since I was 4, but there are people that really have never wanted to have children. I'm like, "Great. That's so good. It's fine." We got a lot of people in this world.
There's so many people.
So many people. It's fine to not want to have children.
It used to, like when I was little, it sounded like there was a lot of people, and there was, but there's so many more now.
It
It
just
doesn't
keeps,
seem real.
yeah, it's true. We keep on multiplying. What's up with that?
We're going to need another planet soon, is what's up with that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think Elon Musk is working on that, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Well, he needs to speed it up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not enough just to go into that upper atmosphere. We need to find a planet we can land
Oh
on.
yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Yeah, give him a call. I think
That's probably what he's been waiting on, is that little push from me.
I think that's right. I think that's true.
That's what's holding him up. Well,
Yeah,
so
well, he'll hear this podcast and he'll know that we're both behind him, and that'll give him the
that'll give him that little confidence that he
that
needs
little confidence he needs to just
to go to Mars or
do
some
the
other
undoable.
random planet.
Yeah, exactly. Do the thing no one's done before. He's going to be that guy. Uh-huh.
So is the movie a comedy, a drama? What's the genre?
It's not a comedy. Definitely not. And I would call it a drama, but I would say I think it falls in the psychological thriller / horror.
Oh yeah, we like those.
Well, it seems like it with what you got going on behind you there.
Yeah, I'm slightly nerdy. I hide it, but but if you look really close,
Exactly.
you might realize I'm a little nerd.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
No, I actually think that movie sounds really interesting because it's a little different twist than what we normally get.
Yes.
And I think that's something, don't you think that's a lot of not just women, but families kind of go through that struggle where they're getting a little older and they got to make that choice. Do I really want a family or not? Because now's the time.
Right. Yeah, I do. And I think it opens up a lot of conversation. And to me, it's kind of a feminist take on a conversation that it really isn't had in television and film, as far as I can tell. It's just really not, talked about because, we kind of fall into these weird traps, I think, in entertainment where it's sort of a this or a that, or, and it's like, it's not always like that with reproduction or with,
That's right.
with sort of what people's picture for themselves is. So yeah, I'm glad that we're exploring it. It was what attracted me to the part and to the film, and the fact that Alexis Jacknow, who is the writer director, had a real specific and unique and I think very focused vision that was really speaking to her own, I think her own fears, kind of purging some of her own terrors around what that might look like for her if she were to go down that path.
Yeah.
So yeah, and isn't
I'm
that
excited to see.
Are you mostly like a horror? Like
we call it pop
pictures
culture
back there look like.
Yeah, well, so our kind of entertainment site is called MeisterCon. It's from this is as nerdy as you can get. But Santa Claus comes to town. You've got Meister Burgermeister. It's my favorite Christmas movie. So Meister, and then Khan is just from Wrath of Khan, where Kurt's young Khan. So I was like, I just want a picture with a bunch of different characters yelling Khan. So that's so we kind of we say we're pop culture. So we kind of cover all of it.
I cover a lot of things. Okay.
All the geeky stuff, but definitely horror, psychological horror, all that's in there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
we were really disappointed that they didn't spin Jan off into her own series.
Well, really?
We were.
I should have Greg Daniels listen to this because
Yes.
it's funny. I just had lunch with him recently and I said, what about a Jan spinoff? And he was like, yeah, I like this. I like it. We were just talking about it, actually. We were talking about it.
Oh my gosh, she was such a kooky character.
She's so great, right? I know.
Yes.
There's a lot of places for her to go that haven't been explored yet, for sure.
I think the her character there at the end of the series, kind of like where they find out that she's running that company. And she's got the child, so she's singing to the child and stuff on the phone. And that's I thought that was hilarious. I was like, that could be a show.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I have 2 daughters, and a lot of times on Instagram, people will say Jan and Astrid if I have a picture of me with my daughter, with one of my daughters. My daughters are all both called Astrid all the time. It's funny.
I'm sure they're used to it by now because they're old enough. They've probably seen most of those episodes now.
Well, my 21-year-old has seen a lot of it. My 18-year-old hasn't really gotten into The Office, which is funny.
That's kind of great because at some point she will, and then it's like it's such a great show.
Yes. She was saying to me, I think yesterday, she was like, "It's so weird that I've never seen The Office. I guess it's because you're on it." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess, one day."
That doesn't seem right.
One day you'll see it. Well, she just feels like it's like, she sees the things I've done. I mean, this is my daughter who, came and saw me do Les Mis at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We had prepped her for what was going to happen to Fontaine and that I die and everything. Oh,
did she handle it okay?
She was just sobbing, and my husband was just like, "Honey, it's okay. She's not really dead." And she'd been hearing me practice the songs, and she knew the story, and she knew I was going to do it the next night.
Of course. Well, that means she was into it.
And she was she's like, "Mom, I'm sorry, you're a really good actress. I can't deal with it." At whatever age she was, 4 or something, or 5, or I don't know. It's so cute.
I tried to get my parents to watch this podcast for we've been doing it for a little over 4 years. For a couple of years, I tried. And they're like, "Why do we need to watch it? We see you every day. We talk to you every day." I was like, "Well, I don't have an argument for that." And then they just happened to see it. Yeah. One day, I think my brother had it on the TV on YouTube, and they watched it. And then they called me and they're like, "When did you start this podcast?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Aren't parents funny?
Oh. But they're right. We talk every day, so maybe.
Yeah. Back to talk. Some people just don't want to be parents because they don't want to have to deal with all that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I have to ask you about storyboards, because my wife is a huge fan of the art. She's an artist, so she's big into that, and it's beautiful. I was checking out some of the work because I'm very unartistic, but even I could see it's really good. It's so pretty. But talk a little bit about that. How did you get started kind of making collages, and how did it turn into the wall type of stuff?
Yeah. Well, I've been making a documentary for the last 6 years that I'm hoping will get into the world this year or next. That's my plan. And through the documentary, I guess I've always been a collage artist, but it turned out that I was making them kind of like obsessively. And right now my documentary is called Hunter's Thunder, and Hunter, who is my subject in my documentary, sort of really loved my collages and found that there was a place for her to go into them and kind of find solace when she was feeling very upset or very sad,
they are very soothing.
Yeah. So they're very, and for me, they kind of they took on a whole new, I don't know, urge for me during the documentary. I was filming, the Bold Type, this last series that I just wrapped up in Montreal, Canada. So I was away from Hunter a lot because she lives in Los Angeles. And I just had this desire to keep the intensity going for what we were doing together. Sure. And it was this way to connect. And then from the very beginning, like my best friend from the time I was 18 years old was saying to me, I just see this like huge, because the first one I made was literally this big. It was super, super tiny. And she's like, I just see it big, like huge, like a set piece behind you or something. And then I showed it to one of my friends in Montreal who said, oh my God, this is amazing. And how come you didn't even show me these? You should meet my brother. He has a whole printing, like wallpaper company where, he works with collaboration with artists, and he was just like, oh my God, I don't have anything like this. And what do you think about making them into wallpaper? And I was like, yeah, this is what everyone keeps calling for. They want them big. They feel big. It feels like you want to step into them, which is why I call them Storyboards by Melora Hardin, because they are stories, and it really is like, it's like art on your wall. You don't even have to put art on top of it if you don't want. You can just have it be the wallpaper is the art. And so
and it works. It's beautiful.
And thank you. It's really exciting. I love wallpaper. I love the idea of, bold, sort of warm statements. They kind of feel empowering. They feel, so that's what I'm doing with that. Yeah. And I'm just now, getting it off the ground, and so
it's
terrific.
Go
to my website to check it out. My website is melora.com, melora.com. So
super easy to find. The website's set up really well, and
I'm still working on it. Still working on it. It's going to get better over time, but
let me tell you, it will never end.
It will never end. I think you're right.
Constantly be tinkering.
Yes, I think it's true.
But it's well done, and when you go in there, you're wanting to see the wallpaper, and you can very easily get to it.
So good.
Yeah, it's very, very well done. Yeah, but my wife just went nuts. I always go over who I'm interviewing. I was kind of showing her some of that, and she's nuts. She loved it.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh, well, that's really neat. I love hearing that.
I could see us end up with a wall like that at some point.
I think you should. Yeah. I think you should.
I think it'll happen. I don't mess with that stuff. Whatever she wants to do with the house, that's fine. I'm just like, okay, as long as I can live there.
Yeah. I can sleep in your bed.
Yeah. Whatever else you want to do, go ahead. She let me get this. She let me get the studio for the podcast. So I was like, anything else you want is okay with me.
That's awesome. Oh my God. Where are you located?
So I'm just outside of Charleston, West Virginia.
Okay. Yeah.
You probably couldn't tell with the accent. It's very subtle.
Well, I was trying to place it, but I really do like it. It's very nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we getting a new Monk movie?
We are. Yes. I'm
so exciting.
I'm starting to film it next month. Yeah.
I thought we were done with those, but I'm so glad we're not.
I know, we're not quite done with those characters. I think it's super fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I love Tony Shalhoub. He's an amazing actor, wonderful person. All the crew, and the producers, and the cast, and everybody's just so much fun. So I'm really
probably felt good kind of getting back into that role because it's been a while.
Yes, it really is. It's really great. It's been
so I know we gotta wrap up, but I wanted to just real quick ask you about the fireside readings that you direct, because I'm a big reader and you're kind of hitting some of the classics, but how did that show come about?
Well, so my husband, Gilder Jackson, actor who also played my husband on The Bold Type, he came up with the idea because if his mother is no longer around, nor his father, but his mother, he's English, and he always thought, like, when the pandemic hit, if his mother was alone now and kind of isolated and cut off from everybody, it would be really sort of a sad time. And my husband, apart from being an actor, is also a big audiobook reader. And so he thought, I remember when his dad was ill and kind of on his deathbed, he would read to him. My husband Gilder would go and read to him, and it really brought him so much solace. And so there was this idea that, like, how can I keep people company and read to them by the fire? And so he sits and he reads usually in some beautiful suit and by the fire, and reads to them every day live on Instagram at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And also it goes onto YouTube. And so, yeah, I just love the idea of it. It felt to me, it was reminiscent to me of like my warm feelings about Mr. Rogers when I was a little kid, and sort of just that kind of slower entertainment where you just sort of really indulge in something, and a great way to learn and to continue reading, and to great for kids, great for parents, for kids. He now has we have released, I think, oh God, is it like 16 or
there's a bunch.
Yeah, that we've released that are mostly kids, classics. That's what we started with, that are out and available on.
Well, that's what caught my attention, because it was all the books I was reading, growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we just thought it was a really beautiful idea, and he's also kept it up, and but people can find it. I think you can get them on Amazon. The Fireside Readings is,
he's got a really good like reading voice. It's very easy to listen to.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. That's good wifing.
I like it. It works for me.
Oh, shoot. So the movie is The Clock. It comes out April 28th. I forgot to mention, it's got our good friend Saul Rubinek is also.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, Saul's terrific.
Diana Agron is starring in it, and she's wonderful. And I'm playing, I guess, one of the sort of, I guess Saul and I both are somewhat antagonistic in it, but I think I'm more of a protagonist antagonist. I'm a little bit of both.
Well, best of luck with that. Best of luck with the storyboards. I guess the last question I have for you is, where can we find you on social media?
So on Instagram, I'm at Melora D. Hardin, and on Twitter, I'm at Melora Hardin. My website is melora.com. Yeah. And Facebook.
I'll say one more thing before I let you go. Back in the early 80s, if you were homesick from school, they showed The Love Boat and Fantasy Island back to back. Almost with that. And that's where I caught your Love Boat episode.
Really?
One day on a rerun.
Oh my God.
On like a Tuesday morning or something.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, I love that. That's so cool. That was one of those dream jobs when I was a kid, starting so young. Like, I had my favorite shows, and of course I got to be on quite a few of them. I got to be on Little House on the Prairie a couple times. I got to be on Love Boat. I got to be on Quincy. I got to be on Different Strokes. I got to be on.
You were all over the place.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat going through your history, because it reminded me of a lot of those great shows, because, you always say, oh, it's The Office or The Bold Type or one of these newer shows. But when you look back, you were on all the big stuff back then.
Yeah.
Plus you dance, plus you sing, and wallpaper.
Yeah, I'm the little bumper sticker born to perform. That's what I always say. Except, I guess, I don't know. Does directing and making wallpaper, I don't know, go into that? I don't know.
It counts. I think it can. Anything creative, I think it can.
All right. Okay. Born to create. Maybe that's
born to create. Melora, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. I know you've got a busy schedule, but I really appreciate you fitting us in.
Thank you so much. This is great.
Yeah, this has been a blast, and it's been terrific. This is, these days, this is about as close as you get to meeting somebody in person.
Oh, it's so annoying. I don't love it. I really don't. I was telling Mike, my publicist, earlier that, like, I do not like this technical part. I do not like it. This is not what I signed up for. I liked it much better when he would come to my house. He would pick me up. We would go in a car somewhere. We would land. We would do the thing. Then we'd go to the next thing. And then we would get some lunch. And then we'd go to the next thing.
The whole day.
I just like that much better.
Yeah, now you have to actually,
so much more
technology.
Personal. Yeah. It's a good thing that he and I started a relationship long ago, because otherwise I would barely know him, because, what do? You like talk, you look at people on Zoom.
That's it. I mean, thank goodness for Zoom. It's been nice. It gave us a way to kind of communicate without being there. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather be in person.
Yeah. I'm not doing that again, by the way. I don't care. Like, I'll just die. I'm not doing the whole like sitting in my house thing again.
I'm 100% behind
I'm
you.
never
Well,
doing that
it
again.
only happens like every 100 years. So I think we're safe.
That's true. I think it is. But yeah, I think it is.
I think we're okay. Well,
I
thank you
think
so
we're good.
much, Melora, and best of luck
Thank
with the new
you.
movie. And please, at some point, come back.
Yeah, I will. I will. All right.
All right. Hold on one second.
All right.
That was a bucket list interview for me. And I've been lucky enough on the podcast to have many of those. But I've been such a fan of hers for most of my life because she's been acting since she was 6, and we're pretty close in age. So I kind of grew up watching her on Different Strokes and The Love Boat and Quincy and Little House and all of those movies. We had Allison Arngrim, who was on Little House, and she was a big fan of Melora's and brought up when she was on the show. So just a terrific, fun time, and she's so talented. Please do me a favor and check out her new movie Clock. It's also got our good friend Saul Rumanek in it. So please check that out. Storyboards. If you go to her website, you'll be blown away with how pretty that wallpaper is. I mean, it's just it looks like pieces of art. I mean, it looks like you were hanging art on your wall, but it's the whole wall. It's pretty amazing. Wanted to mention there's so many, and we only had a very limited time, so I didn't get to bring most of those up. I'm glad we got to talk about Monk a little bit because I'm excited for the new movie. But just to go through some of the things she's done throughout her career, I'm looking down because I'm good, but I don't remember anything. I'm getting older. So she was in the Hannah Montana movie, which I had forgotten. 17 Again, I loved her in. For some reason, I'm thinking maybe Jennifer Garner. Does that sound right? That may not be right, but I loved her in that. She was Principal Jane. 27 Dresses, The Comebacks. She was a singer in The Rocketeer. Beautiful voice. I thought that was just terrific. Recently, she was on A Million Little Things. She did a movie called Love Classified. We talked about The Bold Type. We didn't talk about Transparent, and she won an Emmy for that one, and that was such a great show. The Blacklist. She was on Falling Skies. We had Jesse Schramm, that's from Falling Skies, on the show. She played Katie, I think was the name of her character on there. Let's see, she had an episode of Friends. So she's kind of the crazy girlfriend of Ross, is what I remember about that, but really funny. She even did a Matlock episode, if you believe that. That's how long she's been doing this. She had a couple of Quantum Leaps. My ex-wife is still just a huge Quantum Leap fan, and she was just thrilled to death that Melora was coming on the show. So that was terrific. And I definitely wanted to bring up the fact that she played Baby in the Dirty Dancing TV show. Nobody puts Baby in a corner. But I just didn't get the time to do that. But definitely wanted to mention that. She was on Magnum PI. I mentioned Quincy. She did really well on Dancing with the Stars. I think she was like a top 6. Different Strokes and The Love Boat we brought up. But I mean, just an amazing career. And I love the fact that she doesn't just act, she directs. She's an artist. She sings, she dances. I mean, that's really a lot of talent in one person. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry to gush and kind of to run on, but as I said, there's a bucket list one for me. Been working on this interview for a while, so just thrilled to death that she agreed to come on the show. Just so nice, so nice. If you're finding us for the first time and you liked what you saw, or you're just a big fan of Melora Hardin's, please help us out, support us by subscribing. It gives you access to almost 600 episodes now, and I would put our guest list up against any other podcast or talk show that's out there. I think we have had the absolute best guests. So you've got plenty to choose from. I guarantee you'll find people that you're fans of or people that you will become fans of. So if you prefer to watch, it's YouTube MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. If you're listening, wherever you listen to your podcast from or whatever application you're using, just subscribe there. That helps us as well. And it's free, but that really helps us out. We take those subscriptions and the reach on our podcast, and we use that to help us entice guests to the show. So that really helps us out. So please subscribe. All 600 of those episodes, audio and video, are on a website, meistercon.com. If we're doing anything in studio, let's say we're getting a group together to watch Clock, or if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, whatever we have going on, that'll be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. I enjoyed this so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.